20 fun facts about Ukraine. 1. The largest country in Europe. If you don't include Russia, which lies both in Asia and Europe, Ukraine is the biggest country in terms of area in Europe. The total area of Ukraine is 603.55 square kilometers. While Ukraine is the biggest country in terms of area in Europe, it is not big in terms of population. With a population of about 43 million people, it is smaller than the population of Germany and France. 2. Russian or Ukrainian, both languages work here. It is quite evident in Ukraine that throughout the country people know both Russian and Ukrainian languages. However, if you really want to be local, Ukrainian, which is the official language as well, would still work better. And to your disappointment, English is not a widely spoken language here. 3. Ukraine has 7 World Heritage Sites. Ukraine is home to 7 sites protected by the UNESCO World Heritage List. They are also among the best places in Ukraine to visit. These include Kyiv's St. Sophia Cathedral and Lviv's Historic Center, unique wooden churches in the Carpathians and the beech forests that surround them. Here's a rundown of the amazing protected places you need to visit during your holidays in Ukraine. 4. National costume of Ukraine is Vyshyvanka. Vyshyvanka is the name of the national costume of Ukraine. This is differentiated from others because of its embroidery work, which features Ukrainian embroidery. Vyshyvanka is a plain white shirt made of linen and decorated with floral or ornamental hand-sewn embroidery. And the specialty of the costume is that it is worn by both men and women. 5. Home of many ghost towns. The deadliest nuclear disaster of all time, the Chernobyl disaster, happened in Ukraine. The site where this disaster happened and its surroundings are located in northern Ukraine and are part of the Chernobyl exclusion zone, established by the USSR soon after the accident in 1986. Within the zones are a number of abandoned towns, most notably Pripyat, that draw interest from all over the world. Tours of the area, including the power plant, are available, at the risk of the traveler. 6. Famous Tunnel of Love is located here. The Tunnel of Love is a semi-abandoned railway line in Kharkiv, northwestern Ukraine, noted as being the most romantic place on earth. This enchanting natural train tunnel is surrounded by green arches formed by trees on both sides of the single-track railway line. Its romantic setting attracts many couples to the place. According to local legends, couples who visit the place will have their wishes granted. 7. The second deepest metro station in the world. The second deepest metro station in the world is Arsenalna station on the Svyatoshinsko-Brovärska line located in Kyiv, the capital city of Ukraine. This subway station was opened on the 6th of November 1960 as part of the first stage of the Kyiv metro, built and designed by the Soviet Union. The deepest metro station is Kyiv Metro's Arsenalna station, located at a depth of 105.5 meters, 346 feet. 8. Invented the gas lamp. The gas lamp, invented by 2 Lviv-based pharmacists, Jantsay and Ignatsa Lukasiewicz in 1853, is one of these groundbreaking inventions. Invented by a local pharmacist in a store called At the Golden Star, today the achievement is remembered by a cafe called Gasovalampa, found in the same building. 9. World's largest sunflower seed producer. Ukraine is the world's largest producer of sunflower seeds, followed closely by Russia. The US is the world's 10th largest producer of sunflower seeds, with most being grown in South Dakota and North Dakota. It is estimated that the total size of Ukraine's sunflower farmland could cover the entire territory of Slovenia. 10. The breadbasket of Europe. The vast tracts of arable land in Ukraine with fertile black soil made it an ideal place for growing wheat and other food crops. As such, it was nicknamed the breadbasket of Europe. Today, Ukraine continues to be one of the largest producers of wheat in the world. 11. Heaviest aircraft ever. The An-225 is the heaviest aircraft ever built, with a maximum takeoff weight of 710 tons. It holds the record for total airlifted payload at 559,580 pounds, as well as airlifted single-item payload at 418,830 pounds. The Antonov An-225 Maria was built in Kiev, Ukraine while it was still a part of the Soviet Union. It also has the largest wingspan of any functional aircraft. 12. Ukraine or the Ukraine. The use of the Ukraine is officially deprecated by the Ukrainian government and many English-language media publications. Ukraine is the official full name of the country, as stated in its Declaration of Independence and its constitution. There is no official alternative long name. Ukraine officially declared itself an independent country on August 24, 1991, when the Communist Supreme Soviet Parliament of Ukraine proclaimed that Ukraine would no longer follow the laws of the USSR and only the laws of the Ukrainian SSR, de facto declaring Ukraine's independence from the Soviet Union. In 1993, the Ukrainian government requested that the country be called just Ukraine. U.S. Ambassador William Taylor, who knew that the addition of the was considered insulting by some Ukrainians, said it implied a disregard for the country's sovereignty. 13. An absolute record number of people came to Queen's concert in Kharkiv, Ukraine. In 2008, the largest square in Europe, Kharkiv Liberty Square, played host to a charity concert by Queen and lead singer Paul Rodgers, which was a record for the group in terms of the number of people in the history of its existence. According to the media representatives of the group, more than 300,000 people gathered in the square. 14. The territory of today's Ukraine was inhabited as early as the 5th century BC. According to the remains of the Tripolitan culture, the area of today's Ukraine was populated as early as the 5th century before Christ. There was a Scythian kingdom, the Crimea and the Black Sea coast were inhabited by Greek and Gothic tribes, and the center and northwest are associated with the Slavs. In the 9th century, the history of Kiev Rus was written here. In the 13th century, the land fell under the influence of the Tatars and the Golden Horde. 15. The Yalta Conference was held in Ukraine. At the Yalta Conference in 1945, hosted by Ukraine, the legendary trio of Stalin, Churchill, and Roosevelt had a gathering. It was intended to discuss the way forward in relation to the organizational aspects of post-war Europe. The site of the conference, Levadia Palace, is now a museum. 16. The first university in Eastern Europe was opened in Ukraine. The Ostrog Academy is the first institution of higher education in Eastern Europe, the oldest Ukrainian scientific and educational institution. In 1576, Prince Constantine Vasily of Ostrog established Slavic Greek Latin Academy in Ostrog. 17. Ukrainians tend to wear wedding rings on their right hand rather than on the left. The left hand was considered unclean. It was not suitable for wearing a symbol of eternal love. The right hand, on the other hand, was a symbol of power, positive changes and knowledge, and was greatly honored by the ancestors. The wedding ring was put on it during the ceremony of marriage. The wedding ring on the left hand in Ukraine can often be misleading to others. Here it is usually put on the other hand if one of the spouses has died. 18. Both Ukraine and Austria claim to have invented the coffee house in Europe. The first cup of coffee is also considered to have been brewed by the Ukrainian war hero Yuri Kolchetsky, in the 1680s in Vienna, Austria. Nowadays, the intense coffee spirit in Ukraine can be vividly seen in Lviv, Ukraine's medieval city, where you can find thousands of coffee shops. 19. The world's second most visited McDonald's is situated in Kyiv. At the end of 2011, fast food establishment McDonald's, located in Kyiv on Vokselny Square, took second place, among 33,000 chain establishments in the world, for the number of visitors. They took 2.455 million orders that year, which is 7.5% or 171,881 more than in 2010. This is the 6th year in a row that the institution is among the top 5 most visited establishments of the network in the world. 20. Ukraine is the least expensive travel city in Europe. In the entire Europe, Ukraine stands the cheapest where one can find things at rock-bottom prices. All the transport modes, which include buses and trains, are quite cheap. Even the food here is cheap when compared to other places in Europe.